The Empire Beneath the Sand. Part 2. The Sun Below. The Awakening of the Lost Light. The year was 2024, 100 years after Captain Edward Langford's doomed expedition vanished into the Egyptian desert. The world had changed. Empires had fallen. Men had walked on the moon. Machines now whispered through code and light. Yet the sands of Egypt remained the same. They kept their secrets well. Chapter 1. The Signal. In the climate-controlled nerve center of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, a young astrophysicist named Dr. Elena Brooks leaned over a monitor filled with shifting spectral patterns. "Run the scan again," she said. Her colleague frowned. "That's the 6th time. It's not a glitch, Elena. The signal's real." The anomaly had first appeared during a deep penetration radar survey funded jointly by NASA and the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities. The mission's goal was simple: to map subsurface formations beneath the western desert. But what they found was anything but simple. At a depth of 2 miles, directly beneath a ridge once mapped as Gebal el-Maut, the Mountain of Death, a pattern pulsed. It was geometric, deliberate, and rhythmic. The computer displayed the readings in real time. 8 bursts of electromagnetic energy repeating every 88 seconds. 8 rays, 8 circles. Just like the ancient glyph found in Langford's lost journal. Elena didn't yet know that journal existed, but the desert was calling again, and this time it would not be denied. Chapter 2. The Archive. Cairo, Egyptian Museum. Dust hung in the air like memory. Within a dim storage vault lay forgotten crates stamped British Expedition, 1924. The wooden planks had warped with time, but inside were Langford's field notes, preserved by chance and neglect. A graduate researcher named Omar Saif, cataloging old acquisitions, found the box by accident. Inside were fragments of a burned journal, photographs turned to smoke, and a brass compass engraved with an unfamiliar symbol, a sun encircled by 8 stars. When Omar translated the faded writing, one line struck him cold. The tomb was not built for the dead. It was built to contain the living. He contacted the Ministry of Antiquities, who, intrigued, forwarded it to NASA's Cairo office. Within days, Dr. Elena Brooks was on a plane. Chapter 3. The Desert Returns. The excavation began in late June. Elena arrived in Luxor with a multinational team of scientists, engineers, and archaeologists. The desert heat was suffocating, shimmering like molten glass. As their convoy of vehicles crawled across the dunes, Omar pointed toward a dark ridge in the distance. "That's Gebal el-Maut. The locals still won't go near it. They say the sun dies there each night." The camp was established at the base of the ridge. Ground-penetrating radar confirmed the anomaly. A vast, circular complex buried beneath miles of sandstone, radiating faint thermal energy, as if something below was alive. That night, under a blood-red sunset, Elena stood alone on the ridge and watched the desert breathe. The wind whispered in languages older than writing. She could almost feel eyes in the dark, watching, waiting. Chapter 4. The Descent. On the 7th day, they broke through. At dawn, the excavation drones uncovered a shaft sealed with basalt slabs. The entrance was marked by the same inscription Langford's journal had described, only now new lines glowed faintly under ultraviolet light. Those who awaken the sun below must bear the light within or be devoured by it. The team descended with cameras and oxygen tanks. The passage spiraled downward for hundreds of meters. Strange metal veins glimmered in the walls, pulsing like veins beneath skin. At the lowest point, they entered a vast subterranean temple, identical to Langford's drawings, the same mirrored chamber, the same black basalt sarcophagus. But this time, the sarcophagus was open. Inside was no body, only a faint residue of gold dust, and a single crystalline shard humming faintly with electromagnetic charge. Chapter 5. The Memory of the Sun. Elena placed the shard under a scanning device. The readings were impossible. The material wasn't any known element. It had a non-terrestrial isotopic ratio, suggesting origins outside Earth. Omar read aloud from Langford's notes. "The children of Ra, beings of light who came from the sky before the first kings." He looked up, trembling. This isn't mythology anymore. When Elena touched the crystal, her vision blurred. For a fraction of a second, she saw another world, a city of golden spires beneath twin suns, and beings of radiant light descending on the Nile Valley. Then it was gone. She gasped, clutching her head. The crystal glowed brighter, the mirrors in the chamber flickered, and for the first time in 4,000 years, the walls began to move. Chapter 6. The Awakening of Captain. The light gathered at the center of the room, forming a human-like figure of pure energy, tall, regal, eyes like molten gold. "You have awakened me again," it said, voice echoing through stone and mind alike. "The keepers of the sun have returned." Elena froze. "Who are you?" "I am Captain, guardian of the sun below. Your world forgets, but memory is eternal. You seek light, but light demands sacrifice." The crystal lifted from her hand, rising into the air. The chamber trembled. Screens above the surface began to flicker. The electromagnetic bursts had multiplied, now radiating across the entire desert. Satellites picked up a global signal, rhythmic, intelligent, ancient. It wasn't just waking Egypt, it was waking the world. Chapter 7. The Prophecy of the Light. Omar translated the new inscriptions forming across the chamber walls. They told of a cycle. When men build towers to touch the heavens, and fire replaces the sun, the children shall rise again, for the light that falls must be lifted, or the earth shall burn. Elena realized in horror it described the modern age, nuclear fire, satellites, mankind reaching towards the stars again. But Captain's gaze softened. Not all is doom. The fire can cleanse or consume. The choice belongs to those who remember the first light. Then, like smoke in sunlight, the being dissolved, leaving behind only the crystal and a single glyph glowing on the stone floor. Infinity, the symbol of eternity. Epilogue. The light returns. The mission was classified within weeks. NASA sealed the data. The Egyptian government closed the site. Publicly, it was called a geothermal anomaly. But Elena Brooks knew better. The crystal she had touched continued to glow even under lab containment, pulsing faintly every 88 seconds. On the night she returned to California, she stood on her balcony overlooking the Pacific. The moonlight flickered strangely, almost as if answering the rhythm of that hidden pulse beneath the sand. She whispered, "Captain, What did we awaken? Far across the world, in the Egyptian desert, the ground shuddered once, and then fell silent. For now. The gods do not die, the old inscription had said. They sleep until the light remembers. Would you like me to continue this saga into part 3, the Age of Reawakening, where the crystal's energy begins affecting global systems and humanity faces the choice between rebirth and destruction, tying ancient prophecy to modern science and geopolitics?